Good evening, sci-fi movie nerds, and welcome to another episode of the Sci-Fi Movie Guy. My name is Mike, and this is weekly show number 24. We've got a lot of great stories today, so we'll start out as we always do with Star Wars news. And our first story today goes, as reported by ScreenRant.com, fans have theorized that Rey could be related to Luke, Han, Leia, or even Obi-Wan, but the answer to the question of her parentage won't be answered until Star Wars Episode 8 arrives in 2017, and even that's not a given yet. However, in the Blu-ray DVD commentary for The Force Awakens, Abrams appears to have confirmed the lack of any previous relationship between Rey and either Leia or Han, son Kylo Ren. The Tumblr account Mummy's Lightsabers got its hands on the commentary slightly early and went through it very carefully. While it has just transcribed a large portion of Abrams' quotes from the commentary concerning key scenes in The Force Awakens, there were two instances where he revealed Rey had no pre-existing relationship with Ben Solo/Kylo Ren or his mother Leia Organa. When the scene starts off, Kylo searching the woods of Takodana for Rey. This is what Abrams has to say. One of the new relationships that we were focusing on was between Kylo Ren and Rey. They've never met before, but he's heard of this girl. The key phrasing is they've never met. But what about Leia? The first time Leia and Rey share the screen, a long loving embrace is shared. But Abrams also says that they have never met, and this moment was because of their connection to the Force and Han Solo. Abrams also says, but this moment, I think, is actually lovely, and the idea that these two women who've never met or knew of each other, and they are both Force strong, so they're both bound by loss and their strength. Can we take J.J. Abrams at his word? Only time will tell. And I'm telling you right now that this remark interests me more than any other remarks that I've heard about Rey's parentage, because it dispels a lot of rumors. Okay, if Kylo Ren has never met this girl before, there's really no chance she's Luke Skywalker's daughter anymore. No chance that she's Han and Leia's kid. And he's heard of her before. And we knew that from The Force Awakens when he goes, "What girl?" So this tells me that she is definitely known throughout the galaxy. She was hidden for a reason. Maybe she was Force trained by someone when she was younger, and they saw the power in her and they knew it was dangerous. This leads me to believe maybe those Palpatine theories might be true, and maybe she was Palpatine's grandchild, and so they're worried about the dark side of the Force, so maybe Luke hid her on Jakku. Who knows what it is, but it lends itself to a whole bunch of new theories and kind of squashes some of those old ones, which made the Star Wars world a lot smaller by if she was Luke's kid. Or I didn't want to see that. I want to see new stories coming out with new characters, so this is great for me. Please let me know in the comments section if this changes your mind as to who Luke's parent or who Rey's parents are, and I'd love to hear your theories and thoughts now that we've had J.J. Abrams' commentary. So this commentary came on the new Blu-ray DVD release that just got released, and I told you before when the first DVD Blu-ray got released, I was pissed off that we didn't get a J.J. Abrams commentary. And there was a lot of people in the world that were sending tweets to him saying, seriously, what the hell? So I think this was an afterthought. He knew he had to do it, but it pisses me off because now I have to go out and buy another Blu-ray DVD. I already bought one, so now I'm spending double the money. Disney, you really don't need that kind of money. I know it's only $30, but there's some people out there, $30 is a lot of money too. So guys, get it right in episode 8 and do a commentary right away, please. Thank you. So our next story is Making Star Wars reports they have an accurate description of Luke Skywalker's costume in Star Wars Episode 8. But there's another little leaked, less known detail and less verifiable that could prove far more consequential to the plot of Episode 8. This would be a big spoiler if verified. Now, I'm going to say spoiler alert, so check down there, see spoiler alert, but I don't really think it's a spoiler. I think this is just conjecture, but I'm going to say spoiler alert just in case. So, here we go. The Elder Skywalker, now the most powerful living Jedi Master in the galaxy, has adopted a humbling ascension in Star Wars Episode 8, similar to how Yoda lives in The Empire Strikes Back. He wears a simple black tunic with a dark gray cape, making Star Wars describes his appearance as filthy most of the time. But here's the detail that spins out all sorts of intriguing possibilities for the Skywalker's future in Star Wars series. You will also notice there isn't really any belt or anything for his lightsaber. It makes us all wonder if what our friends in Ireland saw was exactly or actually a lightsaber or not during the filming, as there seems to be some contention as to if Luke ever actually uses one. Now, this leak is far from confirmed. The possibility that Luke doesn't wield a lightsaber throughout Star Wars Episode 8 is too intriguing to ignore. One possible explanation is that Luke has abandoned the weapon until he finds peace with his past failings, namely the death of his Padawans, the failure of his new Jedi Temple, and the loss to Ben Solo and the dark side. The other possibility is Luke Skywalker's Jedi training, performed in isolation for years before the events of Star Wars The Force Awakens, has led him to a place of transcendence. Perhaps like the Emperor, he's too powerful to need a lightsaber now. The Force is with him always. We'll learn the truth when Star Wars Episode 8 comes out in theaters on December 14th, 2017. So I don't lend much credibility to this theory. You know, he could have a pocket in there. He could pull out his lightsaber from anywhere. I don't think that not having a belt means anything. And I've heard reports that there were people that actually saw Luke Skywalker cutting people down with a lightsaber. So I'm not really that concerned about this. Excuse me. The thing that I do find intriguing is the fact that Luke is going back to some darker robes. Because I loved his look in Return of the Jedi when he was wearing all black. And we know that Luke has dabbled in the dark side because of Return of the Jedi, when he force chokes those pig guards, and he's walking around with some strut and stuff. And even his battle with Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi, he's using some pretty hate when he's going down on him hard, but then he stops himself, throws the lightsaber, and says, "I am a Jedi like my father before me." So maybe while he was away on the island for 5 years, he did dabble in the dark side a little. But I think that Luke is not going dark. I don't think we need to read in that the dark robes mean he's going dark. You know, it's just clothes for the movie. They don't want him in the same thing the whole time because they want to sell more action figures. They want to sell more costumes for Comic-Con. So that's what I think it is. But I gave you a spoiler alert just in case so you didn't yell at me in the comments section. So our next Star Wars story today is, it would seem that Making Star Wars has another story, and the site sources have provided details to a wardrobe alteration for Kylo Ren in Star Wars Episode 8. Obviously, spoilers beyond this point as well. The report from MSW goes into detail on Kylo Ren's wardrobe and how it has changed. Specifically, the report centers around what it calls a Darth Vader cape that Kylo Ren will be wearing. Now, while MSW notes that there is no confirmation that Kylo Ren has acquired one of his grandfather's capes from many of the collectors who scavenged the remnants of the fallen Galactic Empire for relics belonging to Vader himself, this is now canon that this happened. According to MSW, Kylo Ren's robes are also different, as they now resemble Luke Skywalker's black tunic that he wore in Return of the Jedi. However, his mask is said to mainly stay the same with some minor adjustments. So, this is cool, but again, the reason they change up the costumes from movie to movie is to sell more action figures, because if you get the exact same costume on Kylo Ren, then you're probably not going to buy a new Kylo Ren doll. You can just keep the old one you have. They even changed Vader's look from movie to movie, just slightly different helmets to sell action figures. So that's what they're doing with this. I think it's cool. I can't wait to find out. So that's it for Star Wars news. Now we're going to get into sci-fi news. And our first story today in sci-fi news is, according to a report from Deadline, Johnny Depp is joining the cast of the sequel to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. David Yates will direct the follow-up, with the production already set for early next year. No details have been revealed about Depp's role. However, the outlet does reveal that if you look carefully, you might be able to spot him as a cameo in the first installment, opening November 18th. Now, this is cool. Johnny Depp, he's perfect for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them in the Harry Potter world. I love this casting choice. And what if he's a really young Dumbledore? Wouldn't that be cool? I think that he could play off all those other Harry Potter movies, seen what Dumbledore has done, play a young Dumbledore, really powerful wizard, but maybe a little cocky and maybe not so wise that you see in Harry Potter. So I'm on board for Johnny Depp joining the Harry Potter world with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them sequel. Our next story in sci-fi news is according to a report from THR Warner Brothers. Big screen take on the Scarlet Speedster, The Flash, has lost its director. Director Rick, and I'm sorry I'm pronouncing this wrong, Famuyiwa, who was hired on to the superhero project after finding success with his coming-of-age Sundance sensation Dope, has parted ways with the studio over dreaded creative differences. The departure of Famuyiwa will likely mean the delay of the movie's start of production and release date. So this, to me, is very concerning. This is the third director that we've had walk away from the Flash movie. Now, the first time it was scheduling, they said. The second time it was creative differences. The third time it's creative differences. Warner Brothers, what the heck is going on? First of all, why can't you hire a director, or before you announce you've hired a director, sit down and figure out what the creative process for this movie is going to be. Figure it out, then announce a director. And how does this just happen all of a sudden? So my theory is, and I'm giving Warner Brothers probably way too much credit, is that they had a plan for the movie. The director bought into it. They said, okay, let's go. Then Batman v Superman had a whole bunch of problems. Suicide Squad had a whole bunch of problems. Now they've got him in Justice League before the Flash movie comes out, and they've had to rewrite that script to make up for the problems in Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman. And now the direction that he goes in Justice League will not fit into the direction they thought the Flash movie was going to be. So they had to change the Flash movie. The director doesn't like it, and he says, creative differences, I'm out. Again, I think I'm giving too much credit to Warner Brothers. Stop meddling in these movies and let the directors do it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Kevin Feige has got Marvel down pat. Get somebody on Warner Brothers that will be the same as Kevin Feige so that we can get some really awesome DC superhero movies. Please. Okay, there's my rant. So, Doctor Strange doesn't hit theaters in the United States until November 4th, which is tomorrow, but you guys probably aren't seeing this till tomorrow, so it'll be today. But already making the big bucks in the international box office it is doing. According to Deadline, the movie took in nearly $88 million in 33 offshore markets, putting it ahead of previous MCU installments, including Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, this surprised me a little bit. I didn't think Doctor Strange would have this big of a following internationally, but I still don't think it's going to affect the North American box office. I'm projecting that we're probably going to have an opening weekend locally of about $75 million. And that is a success, okay? If Doctor Strange does $75 million, that is a huge success because it is not as mainstream as Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Captain America, Thor. It's not as big, well-known character. So we get 75 million. Marvel's going to think this is great. So let's hope that it gets as much recognition in North America as it has across the pond, because I think that this could turn into a great series and maybe even have crossovers with Doctor Strange and the Avengers, which would be cool. Now, this isn't one of my most anticipated movies. I'm probably not going to get to see it this weekend for opening weekend. I'll probably wait till next weekend, go see it when the theaters aren't so busy. And then I'll give you my review of what I think. I'm not going to do a special review. I'll just tell you on my weekly show of what I thought of the movie. Because again, I'm not super interested in Doctor Strange, but I'm hearing great things about it. I'm hearing that it's not as good as like the Avengers movie or Captain America Civil War, but I'm hearing it's pretty good. So let me know what you think when you see the movie. Put it in the comments section below. I'd love to hear about it. So our next sci-fi news news report is director Doug Liman revealed this week that Edge of Tomorrow will have a sequel that's a prequel. Not much more is known about the science fiction blockbuster, including a release date, but this is great news for fans who like the first movie. So I had told you in my sci-fi movies top 10 countdown that I haven't seen this movie for a very, very long time. I saw The First Edge of Tomorrow when it first came out, and I thought it was like Groundhog Day. I liked it. It was okay, but it wasn't super great to me. So I promised my friend Jason, who had it very high on his top 10 list. I think it was number 7. I can't remember exactly. But I'm gonna rewatch it with a new lens and see what I think. But it was a very popular movie. Tom Cruise is a great actor. So this is good news story for all you sci-fi fans out there. I hope they make this movie. I hope it comes out soon. And a sequel that's a prequel will be great, because I don't think you could do afterwards, but before all the lead up to Edge of Tomorrow, that'll be a cool story to tell. And our final sci-fi news story, and it was a last minute edition because the new Wonder Woman trailer dropped, and we got a lot of new footage, which I was not expecting 7 months before the movie gets released. It's scheduled to release in June of 2017, and I love this trailer. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube, check out the new Wonder Woman trailer. It is phenomenal. Tons of new footage. We really get to see Wonder Woman talk about how she can't leave mankind to the war. We get to see Chris Pine a little more in this, and he looks really good in this movie. I told you before, this is one of my most anticipated movies of 2017. I think that Wonder Woman could do for the DC Universe what Captain America Winter Soldier did for the Marvel Universe, if they play it right. And I really think by these trailers that they've got a great director for the Wonder Woman movie, and I am super excited. So that's it for my show today. Please tell me in the comment section below what you think of these stories, what you think of my thoughts. Love to hear your thoughts. If you want to email me, please email me at movieguysyfi@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at movieguysyfi. And remember, everybody, nerds rule the world.